Hi, my name is Miranda and I'm going to talk to you about the evolution of technology in a classroom for my senior seminar project. Starting off in the colonial era, it had a horn book, which was a paddle of wood that had lessons written on it for biblical verses. Some say that that's how sorority girls now have their paddles, is from the horn book. In 1870, technology advanced to introduce the magic lantern, which was a primitive version of a slide projector that projected images printed on a glass screen. You could write on them with expo markers. We see this sometimes in some of our classrooms where they would write the lessons and then it would project it on the wall. And then the chalkboard came around in 1890, followed by the pencil in 1900. And when the pencil and the chalkboard came in handy, people wanted more for education. They wanted more technology to advance. Radio became new for students in the 1920s, which sparked an entire new version of learning. On-air classes began popping for any student within listening range. It was limited to certain stations, so not everyone could hear these classes, but if you were within that range and within that system of the broadcast, then you would be able to listen to the classes and get your knowledge through the radio. Next came the overhead projector in 1930. Videotapes arrived on the scene in 1951, which creates a new version of learning through visual guidance. And we still see these nowadays. It's not very common. We do see the big TVs with the videotapes and the VHS that gets put into it. Younger kids nowadays don't really know what the VHS is, but it's still somewhat common in a classroom. Then the Skinner teaching method produced a combined system of teaching and testing, providing a reinforcement for correct answers so that the student could move on to the next lesson. The photocopier became available in 1959, along with a handheld calculator in 1972, which entered the classroom, allowing for a mass production of material on the fly and quick mathematical calculations without needing the pen and the paper and a whole sheet of paper to figure out the equation. The photocopier made it available for teachers to print off lessons and make copies of them for all the students so that they would have notes effectively handed to them, and they could take notes on those instead of using their paper. Although the first computers were developed in the 30s, everyday use computers were introduced in the 80s. The first portable computer was in the 1981s, weighed 24 pounds, and cost $1,795. When IBM introduced the first personal computer in 1981, the educational world knew that it was on the verge of greatness, and Time magazine named it the greatest computer ever. Along with computers in the classroom, Toshiba released the first mass-market consumer laptop in 1985, which was called the T1100, and Apple's infamous Mac, which later evolved into the PowerBook, was available starting in 1984. In 1990, the World Wide Web became available to all students to gain more research and communication with other students. It allowed them to search engine and get more research for any educational purpose. And in 1993, the Personal Digital Assistant, or the PDA, helped keep people organized within a tiny little technology, kind of what it looks like a cell phone or a BlackBerry. They could plug in any time event or things that they needed to get done within the day, and they could program all of that into one tiny smartphone in a way. In 2003, social media became more popular, starting off with MySpace and then gaining back into Facebook and Twitter, which we still use today. Some schools have restricted these websites, so students are not able to go on these websites for personal reasons. Other schools have embraced this social media and have gained students to be able to talk with other students through social media and kind of get help if they need to. They also can communicate with their teachers or fellow faculty to kind of get an idea for what kind of lessons they want to do, or what if a student has trouble knowing what the lesson is, the teacher can respond in a fast manner. In 2010, iPads and tablets were introduced to provide more information, knowledge, and create presentations as well as take notes. We see these a lot today, where people are carrying around their iPads that connect with a keyboard, and this allows them to type notes faster rather than writing it down and getting a hand cramp. We also see the ones that can swivel, and it comes with a stylus pen, and you can jot down your own notes, and it makes it turn into a detailed document. College students nowadays are rarely without some form of computer technology, whether it's an iPad, a tablet, a laptop. Without any form of that, 83% own a laptop and over 50% have a smartphone. We see this a lot in our college students, a lot in the college classrooms. Teachers actually want you to bring those so that you're getting more knowledge and that you get the type of learning that you work best for. Teachers are also using smart boards, which are basically a whiteboard or a chalkboard, but it comes with a stylus pen, and you don't have to erase it. It doesn't get any of that, and it gets the lesson projected across clear. It turns the writing into a nice handwriting, so if your teacher has sloppy handwriting and is writing really fast, you can't tell what it is, the smart board will help translate that so you get a better knowledge of the information. The future of technology, I did a little research on what people are starting to work on to get more technology into the classroom. And there is something called the biometrics, which someone is trying to get into the classrooms. It's a technology that recognizes people based on certain physical and behavioral traits. It's on the technological horizon right now. It's not really moving very fast. It's not going to get out there within the next month. But it's something that's going to be able for the teacher to alter the information in the coursework for that individual specifically. So if someone doesn't really know, not very good at visual learning, this will pick it up and will be able to tell the teacher ways to provide information that's not visual learning so that everyone gets the best form of learning that they possibly can. A second up-and-coming technology is the AR glasses, something that Google is working on right now. It's basically contact lenses or glasses that will layer data on top of what we naturally see. So an example that I read on the internet is if you put these glasses on, you're learning about Thomas Edison's inventions, or if you're learning about Abraham Lincoln and his presidency, you would be able to put these glasses on the contact lenses and actually have a conversation with Thomas Edison about his invention, or you'd be able to get more research on Abraham Lincoln and his experience as a president through these contacts, like you're having a conversation with him in person. These are just up-and-coming technologies, so they're not out there right now, but they're trying to get it out as fast as they can because they want the knowledge and learning to become more available to people and be able to have kids and adults learn information in a positive manner, in some way that they're going to see as beneficial. If you're just going to talk to them about Thomas Edison and his invention, it's not going to go through with them. But if they can actually sit down and talk to Thomas Edison and have that role play, it's going to be a lot more effective for children. So that is all I have for the evolution of technology in the classroom. I hope that the technology in the classroom gains and still rapidly improves, because we need technology in classrooms. It's helping students learn more information in a faster way, and it's helping them connect with others, and I think that's very important. As a fellow educator, I don't use that much technology in my classroom just because it's so expensive, but I hope that one day technology in a classroom is more enhanced and more used. So thank you for listening to me about the evolution of technology in a classroom. I hope some of this brings knowledge to you if you are a fellow teacher. If you're not a fellow teacher, some of this you may already know. You may have some of these devices already. Your parents might have some of these devices. So if you do, you could ask them and they could show you how it works and all that fun stuff. But I hope you enjoyed listening, and I will see you later. Bye.